Hello, everybody. We're back. Another Saturday and another chapter draft. This is Chapter 3, Build Yourself a Backbone. I walked into the same facility that my friend came from who inspired Bridge Builder. There, 2 doors down from him, there was a woman who was also a builder of sorts. Not of bridges, but of backbones. This was a woman who was declared only to have 3 months to live, and ended up living for years after. She was tough as they come, struggling through waves of sickness and recovery. One day, she'd be on the verge of death, and doctors and nurses were saying, "It doesn't look good." Then, to everyone's surprise, she'd come right back, a little more tired, but with all the more grit. I was the admitting nurse the day she came to our hospice, and I got her history. She said, "I've got a hell of a list. I've got lots wrong with me, but I ain't dead." After some time, I got more of her story, and the hospice asked if they'd like me to sit down and write a song for her as part of our program. When I sat with her and her 2 daughters, our interview was full of tragic happenings, one after another from the day she was born. She started by sharing how she was born at 8 months and dry as a bone, with the cord tied around her neck. Shortly after, she almost died from a bad polio vaccine as a child and was given 6 months to live even back then. She said, "I'm not a weak person. My parents were strong, and I'm strong." She suffered the loss of 2 daughters as well, one kidnapped and murdered, and the other to an injury in stillbirth. Her husband at the time folded, as she put it, deserting her and her 2 living daughters to face the despair on their own. In these examples, she said that each challenge was a chance to fold up or to take strong action. She said that potentially whatever doesn't kill you can make you stronger. She shared how she was always on the move, helping family and friends that were struggling as well. Looking back, she realized the role of most of her life was about being a helper, a giver of care. She said someone had to stand up. She emphasized this choice we all have, this decision we're faced with when confronted with adversity. Even her current situation in hospice, how she'd been given a terminal diagnosis, it was embraced as an opportunity to navigate a new difficulty, allowing her to better connect with those around her and graciously receive help from others. Her 2 daughters were present and attentive, saying that her example of strength and service all through their young lives allowed them to better handle the ever-changing situation presently, walking with their mother through this chapter nearing death. I was so impressed with this toughness, but there was a tenderness as well, an apparent love present as they together faced the situation head-on. These challenges, in a way, became pillars of support that time had built through them together as they faced struggle after struggle. She said that the obstacle is life's reality, and letting it win over you is ignorantly throwing away a gift. Looking back, she felt like it all happened for a reason. That reason being to give her strength and a way to serve. In that room, she was laying there, physically folded in bed, but her spirit was far from crippled. She had issues to manage with pretty much every body system, a reason to complain or wither in despair. A single disease would be enough for some of us to collapse. But I looked upon this woman and saw a lifetime of strength and lessons learned from this adversity. She may have been small in physical form, but she was a tower of resilience. A blanket, a beeping machine, hallways of others that shared her fate in different ways. The nurses in the facility would tell me, "I've never seen anyone so tough. She gets right to the edge again and again, and she just keeps bouncing back." She shared that as she looked back on her life as a compounding series of choices, the little things that didn't seem like much at the time ended up stacking into huge courses over the track of life, each opportunity on top of the other. She shared that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the choosing to stand and act in the presence of it. She wasn't a runner. She was connected to a purpose bigger than herself, devoting her life to supporting others. She had to have a strong backbone to bear the burdens of so many. Her daughters and numerous children, they called her mom over the years. There's a responsibility to those that needed me, that kept me choosing to move forward. Even now, there are people that need me in different ways. I can be kind. I can be that word in their day, or tell them that they're just doing a great job. Anything that builds them up. I was so inspired by this message, seeing this woman so physically limited, yet spiritually able to deliver this message so clear. Her daughters, both able to celebrate her strength as they stayed by her side, unyielding in their attentiveness and support. To sit there and hear her stories, to see her strength despite her weakness, and her desire to transform her adversities into stepping stones, building blocks, reinforcements to her fortitude, I was witnessing architecture at its very subtlest and finest. Much mastery of transformation, honed over a lifetime's fires of constant forging. There were tempered beams and pillars here that weren't destined to be broken by any force. She was too damn strong for that. She made me consider how to best cultivate such a strength. Not looking for or creating situations of conflict, but welcoming the challenges that come big and small, with an aspiration to be aware that they're all tests of strength, choices that we all can decide to respond to, tests, gifts disguised as disasters. By her example, up until the day she died, she stood tall while laying in her bed, with a backbone made of the finest material, relaxed under the supreme pressure of life's weight. Her song was shared with her before she passed, and she humbly blushed, saying, "Is that really all about me? Shucks, that's nice. I'm just being me." It was sang at her memorial when she passed, a celebration that reminded all there that we too can choose to either fold up like a cheap watch, as she put it, or build ourselves a backbone. Thank you. This is Build Yourself a Backbone, the song from yesterday's readings of chapter 3 from the upcoming book. More often than not, life gives you a bad shot. From the day that I was born, I've been pushing back those horns. It's a crazy world. I've had myself some good girls, and the others that I lost put me on the rocks. Well, you can take those stones along with those the devil throws, and get yourself some glue, stack them to the roof, and build yourself a backbone. No matter how you try, there'll come a day when you die. Some doctor comes along, 6 months till you're gone. You can bump it up a notch, or fold up like a cheap watch. Take it like a champ, or let it kick you in the yeah, well, you can take those stones along with those the devil throws, and get yourself some glue, stack them to the roof, and build yourself a backbone. those stones, along with those the devil throws. Get yourself some glue, stack 'em to the roof, and build yourself a backbone. Get yourself some glue, stack 'em to the roof, and build yourself a backbone. Thanks, everybody. You can check that song out on Spotify and everywhere else. Build yourself a backbone. I hope you enjoyed next weekend's first draft of the chapter 4, and the next song. So, see you then.